Minister with responsibility for gender equality, Virginia Albert-Poyotte, emphasized the ongoing efforts to achieve gender equality, particularly in access to employment and fair wages. She noted that while strides have been made, women still face barriers to securing the same jobs and pay as their male counterparts. Discussions at the conference highlighted the importance of creating policies that enable equal participation and treatment for both genders in the workplace. These efforts will continue as preparations begin for the upcoming 30th anniversary celebration of the Beijing Platform for Action, scheduled to take place in Mexico.
When we speak of gender equality, we speak of in the work environment, in the society, legislations, and everything else, so that men and women are treated equally. Equal pay, equal work for men and women, and therefore we were pleased that we are planning for the big conference. They were planning for the big conference which will be held in Mexico next year, where they will celebrate the 30th anniversary. So at the conference, I was able to speak to a number of issues, and one of the critical issues that are emerging now is the issue of care. And we find that care for persons is actually being feminized, where it's mostly women who are involved in care, especially for the elderly.
A key topic of discussion at the conference was the dominance of women in the care industry, particularly in elder care. The government raised concerns about whether these women are adequately trained for their roles and fairly compensated for their work. The issue sheds light on the broader conversation about the value placed on care work, which remains critical to society, yet is often underappreciated and underpaid.
If you look at our caregivers program in St. Lucia, about 90% of the caregivers are women. And therefore, we ask whether women are adequately compensated for care and whether they are adequately trained to take care of persons. And it is an issue that St. Lucia will be paying very close attention to. And our census in St. Lucia is leading in terms of an aging population. We notice that the persons who people live longer, and therefore we need to ensure that we have care, we have health and care for elderly persons. And it is an area that the government will have to pay very close attention to.
Albert-Poyotte recently returned from Santiago, Chile, where she attended the 66th Regional Conference on Women. The meeting brought together leaders to discuss gender-related issues, including a review of the Beijing Platform for Action. Established in 1995 at the Fourth World Conference of Women in Beijing. The platform outlined key strategies to achieve gender equality and empower women globally. Nearly 3 decades later, progress continues, but challenges remain in ensuring equal opportunities for men and women.
That meeting was the 66th meeting of presiding officers of the Regional Conference on Women in Latin America and the Caribbean. Our delegation comprised of myself as Minister with responsibility for Gender Affairs and the Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Sheila Imbert, who is Permanent Secretary for Gender Affairs and Labor. At that meeting, we discussed a number of issues, especially looking at what we call a review of the Beijing Platform for Action.
Albert-Poyotte's participation in the regional conference underscores the importance of addressing gender disparities across sectors. As countries look ahead to the 30th anniversary of the Beijing Platform for Action, the minister remains committed to advocating for policies that promote equality and improve conditions for women. For Choice News Now, I am Kenise Baptist.